Hello, and what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Movie Buffers, episode 38. This episode is going to be about Guillermo del Toro's... But before we get into that, I want to ask you all to please like and subscribe, smash the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out on this channel, and let's get into it. Pinocchio is directed by Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson. It stars Ewan McGregor, David Bradley, John Turturro, Cate Blanchett, Tim Blake Nelson, Tilda Swinton, Finn Wolfhard, Ron Perlman, Christoph Waltz, Tom Kenny, and so much more. Quite a stacked cast, and a very big feeling movie. For a stop animation film, this movie felt very huge in scale. I really love the imagery and the detail in each scene. It made everything feel so lifelike, down to every little crease in Geppetto's beard. And I really felt bad for this film when I first saw that it had a Netflix release for the end of this year, mainly because Disney felt that they had to put out an awful reboot of their version of Pinocchio back in September, directed by Robert Zemeckis. And I honestly feel that they did that so that they wouldn't lose their rights to the Pinocchio intellectual property. They have to remake their entire catalog at some point. But this film also had an amazing amount of support and people buying tickets to select theaters that are actually screening it. And it's gotten a lot of critics raving about it and a lot of praise on the internet, with a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, a 79 on IMDb, and an 80 on Metacritic. This one already seems to be 10 times better than the Pinocchio put out earlier this year. We open up and we see Geppetto and Carlo, a father and son with a best friend relationship, and I honestly thought that this drug on for way too long. Some of the scenes were a little awkward. I may have been a little stoned, I don't know. This is also the first animated film I watched by myself in quite some time, but it held my attention until the very end. I also wasn't a huge fan of the musical numbers in this. It just felt like the songs weren't very well written. The rhythm to them just didn't seem to grab me. I really loved Del Toro's touches in this, like the floating eyeball spirit orbs in the forest that hear Geppetto's cries, and also the blue wood sprite that brings life to the puppet was an extremely unique and even catered to Del Toro's infatuation with eyeballs. This was very cool, and I love seeing such an original take on an exhausted story that has been told over and over again. And the fox and the cat made no appearance in this take either, despite all the magical and supernatural elements of the film. It seemed more grounded in reality. Kind of. I also love when Pinocchio would die and keep coming back through the spirit world with the rabbits playing cards and Death, the sister of the wood sprite. It was also unique and comedic, and it made me feel like I was seeing someone's true heart and soul being poured out into a story that must have truly been beloved by him and resonated with him throughout childhood. And it feels like we share his love for this story while watching it. Another thing to point out that I really liked was the take on Pleasure Island and how in this film it's a military training camp. It's just all really interesting choices in this. I just wish the songs were better, and Pinocchio succeeded to be very obnoxious at times. I know that's the point, and maybe the film could have benefited from being trimmed down just a tad bit. And the chemistry between Pinocchio and Candlewick was just incredible. The scene where they're talking in their bunks, it was very moving. Ewan McGregor's performance was a nice touch to the film, but Christoph Waltz as Count Volpe was very good. His voice really matched the facial expressions of this puppet. It was great. Guys, in the end, I really enjoyed this film. It was a nice change of pace from the things I've been watching lately. I went from all horror movies to all Christmas ones. It's quite the case of whiplash. I'm giving Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio an A-. Alright, that's it. That's the show. Pinocchio. Did you see it? Comment below and we'll talk about it. And please like and subscribe, smash the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out on this channel. And this is Movie Buffers. See you next time. Thanks for watching.